So I mean, we've known each other for what, 15 years now.
Are you that lucky?
But I want to say I'm actually very, very disappointed in you
Thanks.
because at no point in time did you guide me into joining the police force.
Did I guide you into joining the police?
Because I've now learned there's a new thing now. What you can do is go to school,
Yeah,
study hard,
yeah,
get good grades,
yeah.
join the police force, and you get rich.
Oh dear. Moving on swiftly. What the heck has that got to do with me and business? But anyway, not everything is as it seems.
Never. How you doing?
Yeah, good.
Good, good, good. So there's been so much happening in the world since you and I have sat on a podcast. So I'm happy to be doing this. And the first thing I actually wanted to talk about, it happened about 3 weeks ago, with the England cricket team,
Yes.
where some of the boys went out after the first test against New Zealand. Guys got suspended.
Well, they got doped first.
Yes, they got dropped. Then they got into a fight.
Gotta set all the context. Don't just say
Sorry,
they went out after the test, then they got suspended. No,
they went out. They had a few drinks.
they got doped.
Yeah, they got
They
into a
got
fight.
into a fight, and then
They got suspended.
they missed their curfew,
Yes, they missed their curfew as well. Sorry.
and then they got suspended,
And then they got suspended.
and then they were all upset and unhappy.
Well, they were dropped for the next game.
Okay, and then
And then it came out that, oh no, this curfew thing is actually not a rule. It's written down nowhere. Nobody's agreed to it. It's just something that is up there. So my question is, how often does that happen in business?
well, so I suppose the question I had to ask is, okay, so somebody somewhere knew that there was a curfew.
Yes,
Otherwise, it wouldn't have just arrived.
for sure.
It's also not the first time I gather it's happened.
No, I mean, just with Stokes himself, this is his fourth incident.
And did he resign? Was he still in the team?
No, he stepped down. He retired completely.
Oh yeah, he did retire. So he retired after that.
Yes. Well, he played the second test, and then at the second test he retired.
And he was a captain.
He was captain.
So he was captain. So the reality is first up, as the leader, you have to lead from the front. You should know what the rules are.
Okay. Fair enough.
You know, it's so right up front, you got to know what the rules are. In fact, as the leader, you should be very clear in making the rules and understanding the rules and working with your leadership team, which would be coaches, management, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
To make sure that all those rules are clear.
Yes.
And so without knowing what happened in the pub or whatever happened, I mean, deal is there are always a set of rules, whether they are written down or not written down. I mean, how many times in life have you seen people go, maybe even in families, it's like, yeah, but that's how we always do things. No, it's not. No, it is. And we all know, but we don't know. And when sometimes when it's convenient not to know, then
I didn't want to come.
It's convenient not to know. So, you know, that goes back to teams. Great teams are very clear on the rules. Great teams, their rules and code of honor and way they operate are written down.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at, I mean, for me, the two greatest rugby teams, greatest rugby team in terms of winning over the last 50 years are the All Blacks.
Yes.
Greatest rugby team in terms of winning over in the last decade,
Springboks.
the Springboks. And what have they both created in common other than rugby? A set of rules,
culture,
and a culture that governs how they play the game.
Yeah.
So, and you know, if you go and you read the book Legacy, it's all around the culture that makes the All Blacks great. And you know, one of my favorite quotes right now is from Gilbert Enoka, who was the mindset coach for the All Blacks. And Enoka says this. He says, culture will eat strategy for lunch. Culture will eat strategy for lunch. And a lot of times people are focused on strategy, but they're not focused on culture. And many, many organizations have great strategies. They have strategic meetings, doing everything. And 3 months later in the quarter, they haven't delivered on anything. They had a great strategy, but their culture was not strong enough to hold them to to hold them to account, to be accountable, to do the things that are needed to be done. And so, yeah, this goes back, when you talk about this with the English cricket team, for me, it goes back to culture. What's their culture? What are their rules? What is the expectation? To turn around and go, oh, it was never written down. And well, somewhere, someone
Must have been.
thought that it was a rule.
Yeah.
Somewhere, someone. Now, that just, you can pass blame and all that, and that's not the deal. Is what it tells me is there's ambiguity in the rules. There's lack of clarity. There's not a buy-in.
Yes.
So in leadership, you've got to make sure that everyone understands the rule. Everyone buys into the rule. You have to teach your team the rule. You've got to get them connected to why that rule is so important. You can tell them the rule. Doesn't mean they'll buy into it. And what we tell people very often, they don't listen to.
How do you, in terms of what you're saying, how do you get them to connect with the rule?
Okay, so let's go to our context.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of our rules is everyone sells.
Yes.
And everyone on the team is meant to sell.
Yep.
Okay, great. So you coming to Zim with me on Wednesday.
Yes.
So you're going to come to Zim, and we're going to do some work there for a couple of days. Okay, excellent. So what are you going to sell when you get there?
What am I going to sell? I'm going to sell Uncovering Greatness as a brand that delivers.
Okay, great. And so when you arrive at the airport, you're going to be picked up by a driver.
Yes.
Okay. And that driver is what are they going to see in you?
First up,
yes,
they're going to see me in Uncovering Greatness clothing.
Okay, and what are you going to look like?
I'm going to look.
You're going to have a pair of tracksuit pants on, or you're going to
No, I'm going to have a pair of
jeans on?
jeans. I'm going to have
Okay.
my sneakers.
Okay.
Yeah, and probably.
Okay,
my jacket.
so you could, and none of you can see how he's dressed, but if you rocked up like this, you're selling something.
Yes.
What you're selling is you laid back, chilled, friggin', you're on a casual, and that's okay if that's what you want to sell. Or you're going to go with a
branded shirt.
Yeah. Nice pair of jeans, pair of sneakers, or pair of shoes. You're going to ride there, and that's what you're selling.
Yes.
So different environment. Now,
for sure.
If you get there and you're dressed like you are now, and I say, Sule, come on, dude, why don't you dress properly? Well, if there's ambiguity, you may turn around to me and say, how do you mean why I dress properly? That's how I dress in the office all the time.
Yes.
So can you see how pretty quickly ambiguity can come in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I would just expect, because you watch how I dress when I go and see clients. I have jeans, I have a t-shirt on, I have my branded shirt on, either long sleeve shirt or golf shirt, or in terms of that. Now, I could just expect that, well, it's obvious that you should model what I do. Well, if you don't,
what do we do?
You get it.
100%.
So now, for me, rather than actually saying, Sule, when you come to Zim, but please make sure you have a pair of jeans, make sure you have our corporate shirts. You might say, yeah, I was going to do that anyway. I go, great. I hope you were going to do that anyway. But if you weren't, I need to make sure. Why? Because you don't spend huge amounts of time customer facing.
No.
You spend a lot of time in the office, So why would I assume that it's obvious?
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Okay. And that's the problem with rules.
We assume they're obvious.
So when we sit down as a business, what we should actually be saying is, when we go customer facing, this is what we should wear.
Cool.
When we're in the office, this is what we can wear.
Got you.
And then get everyone in our team to buy into it. So there's no ambiguity.
Yeah.
100%. Does that make sense? So if you take that as an example, now you go back into everything. So our behavior is everything sells.
Yes.
So what are we selling? Okay, great. But the rule needs to be clear, and everyone needs to buy into it.
Yes. 100%.
So, and I think often what happens is there's ambiguity in that. And when there's ambiguity, a lot of times people will use it. Well, I didn't really know. Sometimes what that means is, well, I did know, but I didn't want to know because it was not written down. So I'm going to tell you it's not written down because I wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah, it's your fault.
And then justify and deny why it wasn't actually my fault.
And nothing to do with me.
Yeah,
you didn't actually determine whether or not this was a rule or not.
100,
Or
100%.
and I think that's actually such a great example, right? How you dress. For example, with us, it's always been how I know that is when we go to an event, free event, public, whatever it is, UG shirt, jeans, sneakers. We've always had that sort
Yeah,
of standard. Somebody else may come in and go, "Oh, but nobody told me that's what it is." Yeah, but did you ask?
correct. Now, are we going to leave it up to that person and say, did you ask?
Mm-mm,
You see, that's where the problem comes
for
in, is that
sure.
I can now blame you, but why didn't you ask?
Mm,
Oh, I didn't think I needed to ask. Now we create conflict and fiction instead of actually being deliberate. Okay.
yeah.
Instead of being deliberate, there's a wonderful saying, teach deliberately what you do instinctively.
Mm,
Teach deliberately what you do instinctively. So when you implement a code of honor, be very deliberate and always expect that it's never obvious.
mm,
So that you can sit down with someone and say, do you understand that this is how we work? Do you understand that this is what we expect? Do you understand this is what a curfew means? Do you understand that this is what corporate clothing means when and how? Do you understand this is what responsibility means?
mm.
You,
It's
does it make
yeah.
sense? Yes, I do. Excellent. In what scenarios? So there is no ambiguity. So when you arrive in Zim and you're in tracky bottoms, I can say, Sully, dude,
Mm.
but we sat down 2 weeks ago when you joined the company,
And this is what we agreed upon.
and this is what we agreed upon.
Yeah,
Oh, well, I didn't think it was that. No, dude, come on. That's not acceptable.
yeah.
Does it make
No,
so?
100%.
And also because then I'm not going to sit and go, oh shit, how am I going to handle this with Sully? Because if I tell him he's not dressed and I know he's new and he might get offended with me and then he might get upset and I don't want the.
So you just kind of let it slide
So
for
that's
that
when people
moment.
let it slide for that
Mm,
moment. And because you let it slide, that becomes the norm.
yeah.
It sounds simple, but these are the things within companies that over time create cracks in the cup,
Mm,
that over time create cracks in our culture because you're not clear and deliberate.
mm.
So be clear and deliberate.
And you let one person get away with it, for example, because that person may be in management or they
Yeah.
may be a senior member, and you're
Or
like,
a new
"Mm."
person,
Yeah, and
or they have a stronger personality than you, and
mm,
every time you've addressed something with them, you've created conflict and confrontation, and
you don't
oh,
want to do
I
that.
don't want to get
It's
into a fight
uncomfortable.
this time.
It becomes uncomfortable.
Sounds a bit like marriage sometimes.
Running a business is like marriage. Do you think not this, not with what you said, but do you think that that's where leaders, business owners, managers struggle the most with? Is like, how do we get you bought in, but then get you to stick to what you've bought
Well,
into
people focus a lot on what you have to do.
in terms of
So
your job?
yeah, doing and in our world, they focus on the content,
Mhm.
not on the context, not on the culture. But once you get people really clear on the culture, then you can hold them to do what they need to do.
Mm,
What are the behaviors? What are the values? What's your code of honor? What are your rituals? How do you play the game? And that's what all great teams do.
yeah.
Great teams are very clear on their culture. Yeah, very clear on their culture, very clear on their rules, and they attract people who want to play the way that they play. Okay.
Hmm.
Not on the content.
Yeah.
Yes, the content of it is important. You want the best players. But having the best players who can't all play together, can't behave in the right way, can't do what they want, that's not going to create a great team.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it with if for any of you who watch the World Cup, you can see that with a lot of teams who have gone out now of the World Cup. Great players, front to back, great players can't play together as a team.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I just go back and I think I'm not being an avid soccer fan, as you know,
Yes.
but going back and watching Cape Verde play, I mean that there's a group of people,
Yeah.
a group of footballers that I not knowing them, but I don't think they have any unbelievable world names like Bappe or
No.
Messi or anyone like that.
Zero.
And they are playing with a united culture and a group of people that just want to play together.
Yeah.
And they are wow.
Culture.
And look how well they did.
No, I mean, a lot of those guys actually aren't playing football professionally. The one guy,
Yeah, the one who got an email. It's
got a LinkedIn.
got a LinkedIn. Hey, come and play.
I thought it was a scam. He's
Goodness
like,
me.
he said no, he didn't answer it for a while. It got closer to the World Cup, and he's like, let me just check this thing if it's real or not. And it was real.
So when you look at that and so I think, yeah, you go back to the English cricket scenario. What are the rules, man? Come on, you guys are a professional outfit.
Yeah.
You're a world-class team.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't start yesterday.
Why you
Come
keep
on,
doing this?
you
I
know.
mean, how do you? So, for example, if we use that, right? So, for like, we've Stokes has had issues with going out, a few of them, right? And then actually, I can't remember who wrote the article. Somebody wrote an article where they were questioning: is England's culture drinking? Do they actually have? Is that like the core of their actual culture? Is drinking and behaving the way that they do? And I was like, man, that is an interesting flip on culture because
Well,
it can be negative as well, right? Culture's
of
not
course.
always positive.
No, I mean, culture is your culture. Goodness me,
Mm,
it's your context.
yeah.
So you know, if drinking is part of your culture, if drinking is what you do, okay, well, when should you be doing it and when shouldn't you be doing it?
Yeah.
What comes first?
Mm,
It's not about not drinking. The question is where, you know, I mean, in business, yeah, you know, having a couple of beers with many businesses is 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 a norm in South
mm,
Africa. Friday evenings, having a okay,
little
great.
pint,
Well, if that's your culture, that's okay. But what's the limit? Where do you do it? Where don't you do it? Where can you do it? Where can't you do it?
mhm.
Where do you draw the line?
You can't be
And
ambiguous about that.
for different people, it's different things.
Yeah.
You know, it is so. Yeah, you know, if drinking it, if going out after a game of cricket and having a jaw is part of the cup, that's okay. But within which, what's
What's
the
the limit?
context?
Mm,
What's the limit? How many? That's where things like, I mean, if I get that scenario right, it wasn't that they went out and had a couple of drinks. They went out and missed curfew.
curfew. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was the issue.
go out and have a couple of drinks, be back in curfew. Then it's like, oh, why do we have to be back in curfew? We're not kids. Well, it's irrelevant whether you're kids or not. It's part of the team.
Yeah.
Because that's how we best manage the team. Now, if those rules are very clear and you don't want to play by the rules that everyone agrees, then don't be on the team.
Mm,
Go somewhere else. But in today's world, I just find that everyone wants the rules to suit them.
yeah.
When it doesn't suit them, no, you must change the rules to suit me. No,
Mhm.
you play by the rules of the team. You play by the agreed behaviors of the so that you're always doing the greater good for the greatest number of people. We're just becoming more and more. I'm focused on me, and if I don't get what I want, then I'll complain.
Would you say then, as a country, for example, this might be a little bit left wing, but as a country, do you think South Africa's lost its culture?
No, yeah. So culture is a very deep thing, Sule, and culture has so many different aspects that do we have different cultures and do we have do so let me move away from culture and talk about context.
Cool.
So do we have different contexts? Yes.
Yeah.
Have we lost? I don't know. It evolves. Context and culture evolves.
Okay.
It changes, it shifts based on where you're at, unless you're deliberate. A lot of times we're not deliberate. So so what I've learned over, I don't know, 30 years in business, 20 odd years teaching this and implementing this and this whole code of honor context sort of thinking is the more deliberate you are on the environment you want to create and the culture you want to create and the rules you want to have.
Mhm.
Note my words, deliberate. If you are deliberate, you create the environment that'll create the results you want. When you are not deliberate, the environment will be created.
Irrespective.
Well, you go to a pub
Yeah.
or you go to a party with mates,
Mhm.
you will that environment that you walk into, you will become part of that environment.
Yes.
So whether you want to or not, but if you are very deliberate in what your rules are, very deliberate on how you conduct yourself, when you walk in there, if they do not connect with who you are, well, you
You got
will
to pull yourself out.
well you pull yourself out because then you can make those decisions.
Yeah.
When you're not, you'll become part of it. Peer pressure, all those type of things. And
Yeah.
over time, your context will shift and change. And then you'll find yourself doing stuff, oh, maybe I don't really like it, but it's who I've
Everyone
become.
else. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
what I do. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
It's my life now.
So and it evolves. And then you put yourself in environments where, you know, that saying environment is greater than will. Environment is greater than will. What environment are you in? An environment creates is context.
Yeah.
It's the rules, it's the values, it's everything that goes with that environment.
Yeah.
And if you are not clear on what your rules of engagement are, what your values are, you will over time become part of that environment. And then you'll look back and say, why the heck am I doing these things? How did I get to where I'm at?
Mm.
How did I become this? Does that make
No,
sense?
100%.
And so you want to shift and change people, manage environment.
So from your experience, like you said, 20 plus years teaching this, do you think people actually care about this? About culture and environment? In business, sorry, in business
I think
specifically.
people care about it. I don't think it's an area that people are very often deliberate in creating. People talk about it a lot, and they talk about their values. I mean, one of my biggest complaints, or one of my biggest gripes, is a lot of times people do values in their business, but they wordsmithed by a marketing team.
Mm.
So these nice words that sound good to everyone, but they don't live it.
Yeah.
They're a waste of friggin' time, man. Our values.
Mm.
And then you look at their values, and their values don't match up with who they are. That's a waste of time.
For sure.
So I think lots of times we talking about all this stuff. We're not living it.
Mm.
It's lived.
That takes time, though, right?
Hey,
It takes time to live it.
of course it does.
Yeah.
But over time, that's what reconditions you. That's what changes your mindset, changes your behaviors, because you live it.
Mm.
It's easy to say, "Oh, I don't know. One of our values is discipline." Well, go observe how disciplined people are.
Yeah.
You'll see pretty quickly whether that's a value or just a
Nice word.
nice word written on the walls.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
Help. One of our values is help.
Is it?
Well, walk into the business, see if they help you or not. If they don't help you, it's not a value.
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you observe values, you observe code of honor, you observe culture, context in practice. You watch. Okay, behaviors don't. If you observe people's behaviors are a very true test of who someone is.
Mm.
You watch how they behave. They can tell you, I'm this. Watch how they behave. If it's not the same, you're not, that word congruent. You're not in alignment with who you say you are and what you say you do and how you say you conduct yourself.
It's all fake.
If people talk about we're honest until you get the first opportunity to lie. Oh, well, but
we meant was in some areas, be honest.
Correct. That's why these things, when I do a code of honor in a company, people will, let's say, throw out the word honesty. I go, great. What does that mean? People look at me like, well, it's obvious. No, it's not obvious. Because honesty for one person is different to honesty for another. So when you have a team, are you clear on what honesty means?
Yeah.
Are you clear on what that means to be honest?
Just with yourself.
When are you? Yeah, with yourself, but also as a team. When is it okay not to be honest? We never lie. Okay, no problem. When okay,
That's
so
a bold one, eh?
yeah, but you get that because we create these. In that case we would. Okay, so it's not actually we never lie. What it means is we lie up until this point. We won't lie up until this point.
Yeah.
You get that, and so it's living these things. I mean, what are our values? Be real. I mean, ever since I started teaching.
Yeah.
Why has that been one of my values? Be real. Because I watched so many people in this game of teaching and training being fake, pretending to be someone, standing on stage, showing videos of stuff they meant to have that actually behind the scenes they don't have in order to sell stuff. It's fake.
Yep.
So I never wanted to be like that. So I have in my code of honor, be real, don't be fake.
Yep.
And I'm consistently trying to hold myself to that.
Yeah.
Does it mean I do it all the time? No, but when I don't, I pull myself back. I go, that's BS.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When I first started teaching, a friend of mine gave me a scripture. That's a biblical scripture that said teachers will be judged more harshly than others.
Yeah.
Well, that's being real. In that moment, I looked at that and I went, oh crap! I'm a teacher and a trainer.
I'm gonna be.
I better be real. Why? Because teachers have a responsibility to other people.
Yeah.
Have a responsibility to other people. Honesty, total honesty. Be an exchange.
Mm.
Are we in exchange? We're managing exchange. Exchange is a principle of life, the principle of reciprocity. It's one of our values. I always want to be in exchange with people, and I want people to be in exchange with me. Are we getting fair and equitable value between each other? If not, are we addressing it?
Yeah.
How do we address it? So, yeah, it's creating the clarity and then holding it, living it first as a leader, and then second, holding your team to live it.
Tough.
And it is tough.
How long does it generally take you to put in a code of honor into a business with a new client?
So to develop a code of honor,
Yeah.
it's a 2-day program.
2 days.
Yeah. So you go through it, develop it in 2 days, create values, rules, code of honor. To actually live it, it's
never ending, right?
Well, you just keep getting better at it, keep reviewing it, keep going through it, keep going back to it. And that's why in a code of honor program, with the clients I work with, some of them we've been doing this for 3 years, and keep going back to code of honor, keep going back to reaffirming it, keep going back to teaching on it. Because it's like anything. When you don't go back to it, you let them slip.
Yeah, you just
and then you pull yourself back.
You file it.
A code of honor is not there so that we never make mistakes or never do anything wrong. A code of honor is there to hold us when we are doing things really well, to hold us in that space to keep going. And when we're not doing the things that we should be doing, to put up a mirror to go, are you serious about this? Does that make sense?
Very much so.
So either and it's the same with values. Are you going to live this? Is this who you are?
Yeah.
And that allows you to make way more informed decisions on how you're going to conduct yourself going forward. And it's tough. So to answer your question, do most companies do this? No. They focus on content. They focus on all the stuff within the business. But the problem is when they're growing, that's where the heat and pressure comes. And you want very strong context. You want strong values, strong code of honor, strong rules, strong rituals, because the bigger you become, the stronger your cup needs to be. So,
and I think that leads, that leads in very nicely, getting bigger. I don't know if you watch the Robert Whittaker fight. I can't remember the guy he fought. So please don't. I'm sorry about
this. Is him moving up into light heavyweight.
Yeah, for middleweight. So he's no longer in Dickerson. He's space anymore. He's now he's on a new path, right? And it's crazy for me because I'm like, this guy's not going to stop. But he's moved up into light heavyweight. And I was watching the fight over the weekend, and I noticed that because you can even see he's bigger. Like,
last longer than Connor's fight.
All the fights lasted, and Dana's press conference lasted longer than Connor's fight.
Anyway.
And yes, it did. But
so Whittaker's gone up.
Connor may make more money than everybody else. Yes, so Whittaker's gone up. He's bigger, light heavyweight.
Yeah.
I was watching the fight.
He's put on more weight.
Way more
put
weight.
On more muscle.
More muscle.
He's carrying more.
Yeah. And you can, I could see it, right? Also, in my opinion, I could see that towards the end of this first round, into the second round, his breathing was very different.
So he's playing a bigger game.
Much bigger game.
He's moved into a realm that he's never played in before.
Never been here.
Okay.
Tough.
Yeah.
How often does that happen in business? And so when you want to now play a bigger game exactly like that, what do I need to do to play a bigger game like that?
Well, I think first it goes back to who are you being in order to allow you to play that bigger game. Okay. So first thing is what's his context? What's his code of honor? All that sort of stuff that we've been talking about.
Yes.
Because he's moving into a bigger game. He's playing with bigger, stronger people. It's a bit of a different. It's the same MMA, but it's
same thing.
Bit of a different game.
Yeah.
You're may or may not get hit a bit harder. You're going to have someone heavier that's sitting on top of you. Da 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 da. Okay. Yeah. So what's going to allow him to play the bigger game is who he's being while he's playing.
Okay.
That's going to allow him to deliver on what he's going to do.
Got you.
Okay. So that's the first thing is his context. The second thing is he's still going to do the same stuff. He's still going to punch, kick, throw, wrestle. He's still going to do the same stuff, but he's got to do it in a different environment, against a different opposition. And it's like growing your business.
Yes.
So you're still going to sell the same stuff. You're still going to sell the same thing, but now you've expanded, new country, new laws, new process. You still the result that you want is still
Still
the
the
same.
same.
The product and service that you're going to sell is still the same, but what's going to come at you, the heat and pressure that's going to come at you, is different. So one is, are you prepared for that? The second thing is that you can prepare yourself for everything that you know.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
But what you really have to prepare yourself for is what you don't know. So he knows that he can fight. I should imagine he's watched his opponents. He's watched
Yeah.
light heavyweight. He's watched videos. He's trained with light heavyweight people. He's sparred with light heavyweight people. But until he got into the ring for the real fight,
Mm.
he hadn't been in that space.
No, it's just the
Okay,
simulations.
so he had practiced, simulated, practiced, which prepares you. And I'll just put that note in here. Business is the most under-practiced place in the world. So the more you practice, the better you prepare yourself. So he would have practiced. He's got fit. He's used to fighting at the weight that he's in and moving around the ring and doing all those type of things. Now he gets in there, and now this is the real thing. Okay,
Yes.
you can't in practice. You can lose.
Yes.
It's like, what did I learn? Da da da.
Mm.
In the real thing, you're not there to lose. You're
Yeah.
there to win. So you move to the next level.
Yes.
And suddenly you realize, my adrenaline's up a bit more, heart rate's up a bit more. This guy wants to win a lot more than the people that I was sparring against. Da 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 da. The level of competition's a bit friggin' higher than I expected. Okay, and now you start dealing with the things that you didn't really know. And in that moment, can you adjust in order to deal with them? Because you have to, and that's the same as business. So what you know is going to get you to where you've got to. How you practiced what you know and what you think is going to happen based on your experience, based on observation, based on your strategy,
Yep.
is get you there. But there's always going to be the things that are going to come at you that you don't know. And it's when the things that you don't know, or the unexpected things, or the things that might be a little bit harder than you expected for them to happen, when they happen, who are you going to be in order to push through that?
So that's your context, right?
Well, now you go back to your context.
Mhm.
Now you go back to the fact that, well, in that moment, oh shit, I'm tired, I can quit.
Mm.
Or, oh, I'm tired. Shit, I didn't think I'd be that tired. Well, you better suck it up, dude, and keep pushing through.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
does make sense.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in life. That happens in business. That happens in anything. So how are you preparing yourself? It's wonderful saying I learned from Robert Kiyosaki. Are you going to perfection doesn't exist.
No.
So you can prepare yourself, or you can be better prepared.
Mm.
Are you constantly striving to be better prepared?
Damn.
Because when you are better prepared, the things that you don't know that come at you will set you up to get through them. And then when you know the things that you didn't know, now you can prepare better for the next time. And then you prepare better for the next time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, but you continue in the growth. And that's no difference in business. You go from just being yourself to hiring somebody. You've experienced it. You've watched other people do it. You've heard it. You've read about it. You've been on podcasts, seminars, da 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 da. But
You've never done it.
there's stuff that you have no idea about until it happens. And then it's like, oh shit, I hired someone, then I hired the wrong person. Now how do I discipline them? All the little voices come up.
I've never done this
But
before.
when you sat down before you hired them, your brain was going, right, well, I'm going to give them a 3-month probation. Then if they don't work out, I'm going to discipline them. Then I'm going to discipline them again. Then I'm going to fire them until the real thing comes up. Then it's like, oh crap. But this person that I've hired is quite a nice person.
What do I do?
You get that?
Yeah. I wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah. I thought I was prepared, but there's stuff I didn't know. And when you step back into the stuff you didn't know, you go, okay, well, what do I know now and how am I going to handle it? And you either handle it in the way that's going to allow you to win, or you handle it in the way that's going to allow you to lose. Either way, can you take the lesson so that next time you do it better? Next time you become better, then you practice, then you become better prepared, and over time you grow. And that's how you grow in business.
Mm.
And that's the game. So when he stepped into the octagon,
yeah, he's better prepared.
He was prepared.
Mm.
Now the question is in his next fight, what's the stuff that he has to step back and say, shit, I didn't realize that was going to happen. Oh, when I got into the second round, suddenly I was a little bit more gassed than I thought I was going to be. Great. Now he sits down with his coach and his management and his team, and he says, that's where you go back, the technique that I learned from Blair Singer many years ago, the debrief technique.
Yeah.
You step back and now you do a debrief. What happened?
Mhm.
And you talk about what happened. I got in the ring, da 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 da. Same in sales. What happened? Same in business. Same in life. What happened?
Mhm.
Then you go, what worked? Well, what worked is I got in the ring, got in the fight, da 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 da. What worked is I won. Great. What didn't work? What didn't work is in second round when that friggin' oak started pounding the shit out of me, and I was trying to get out the way, da 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 da. I realized that my gas tank is not as big as I thought it was.
Yeah.
So I had to dig a lot deeper than I thought I had to. Great. Okay, what did you learn? I learned that I need to work on my gas tank. Okay, great. What are we going to do? How are we going to make
How
this
do we?
better? Then you put that in based on what you think you need to do in order to get better. Now, guess what? In 6 months' time, he's going to have another fight, maybe.
Yeah.
Then he's going to get and work on the stuff that I needed to work on. Now he's better prepared. But guess what? If he wants to play a bigger game,
Mhm.
he's going to find stuff that he didn't know or
Yeah.
find stuff that he could work on better. And that's the journey. That's the journey of sales. Go and knock on the doors, open, do a presentation, go, shit, I never debrief, go back, practice,
So how
get better,
when
go and play
when we're talking about in terms of business and sales, for example, how often should you debrief?
all the time.
Daily, like once a day,
Well,
like
it's not a, I mean, you can have structured debriefs, go back to the office, sit down with the team, debrief what worked. I think after you had a specific, like in our world, if we have an event, we have a specific debrief.
yes.
But I debrief, I get on the phone and I'll phone someone and then I'll get a result. And then just in my mind, I'll go, how could I have done that better? You know, they said something and how did it make me react? Okay, what do I do better next time? We have meetings every Monday morning. We have a meeting.
Mhm.
I'm always debriefing after the meeting to myself. Always, I think, shit, maybe I was a little bit direct there. Noticed that Sule's energy went down and Michaela's energy went down when I said that. Why do I think their energy went down? What do I think? How could I handle that better? Was I too direct? Was I too forceful? Was I too abrupt? How would I change my mood level when I deal with the team?
Self-awareness.
Yeah, so you become more and more one self-awareness, two situational awareness,
Interesting.
three other people awareness.
Yeah.
So you start changing. Now I come into the meeting and go, okay, well, I still want to address issues, but I want to keep people's energy up and that how am I going to do it in a better way? You get that. Now,
Oh.
what I change, now I may go to my coach and say, you know, I feel when I'm working with the team, this happens. My coach will say to me, well, have you tried this? No, I haven't. Okay, good. Why don't you try this in the next meeting? I go try it. I go, wow, that worked really well. I go try it and go, that sucked.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get better.
You know, it's so crazy to me that you're saying this because I'm just this is a general statement, but I'm also basing it on comments that I've seen on LinkedIn from leaders, business owners. They don't care about this. They don't care about I was direct or how did that make somebody else feel. It's just
You don't have to care about it. Don't care about it. If you're getting the results you want,
no, but they're not.
no, so let me put
Oh,
it this way.
it's like,
If you are getting the results you want, well, don't change it.
Mhm.
If you're not, well, don't complain that you're not getting the results you want. It's very simple.
get off LinkedIn and stop complaining.
No, but does that make sense?
100%.
It's I'm not getting the results I want, but I'm not going to change.
I'm the way I am.
My team, I am the boss, so I'm going to tell you how to do it. You better all friggin' listen.
Yes.
No problem. Well, keep doing that. And if you're not getting the results, well, maybe you'll figure out that you're the common denominator. You need to change some of the shit that you do. You need to change how you deal with people. And maybe people will change how they deal with you,
Oh,
whether you're the boss or not.
yeah.
Or guess what? They're all going to leave you, and then you're going to get new people. And highly likely, unless you change, a lot of those people are going to leave as well because we keep repeating those cycles until we change. So,
Yeah.
what results do you want? What are the behaviors that are going to give you those results? And I'm not talking about, oh, this is Lincoln, Sing Kumbaya, we should all have fun.
Nope.
No, it's how do you get the best out of different people? Different people. Just, I cannot, in our team, if I speak to anyone in our team like I speak to myself, I'll blow.
Yeah.
Everyone will be upset with me. Okay, great. So I understand that. Well, maybe in a year's time, as you grow in business and as you grow in this environment, well, guess what? Maybe you and I can have those more direct discussions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
You have to be able to be aware to see that you can do that with me.
100%.
Yeah.
But I also want to be aware that in the discussions I'm having, I'm watching you grow.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's part of leadership.
Feel me?
So, and that comes back to, yeah, what context are you creating? What environment are you creating? How are you making things work? And what results do you want out of life?
Yeah. What have you seen on? What have you seen? What's been tweaking your interest lately
Where?
in the world?
Nothing. I've been working.
Okay, that's part of the world. So you're telling me there's nothing interesting that you're doing? You haven't been here for like 3
What's been
weeks.
tweaking my interest?
Yes.
What's been tweaking my interest is the more I just watch at the world, I just think we are whinging and whining about so much without doing stuff. There's so many people, I don't know, just promising illogical bullshit. It's honestly promising illogical bullshit. I'm watching New York City at the moment with Mayor Mamdani,
Kwame.
and I'm like,
I like this already.
where's that money going to come from? Where's it going to come from?
Mm.
You're gonna tax all the rich people
1%.
that are creating jobs and all that sort of stuff, and they're going to go to other states, and you're going to be left with what?
I mean, some have already been threatening that they're going to.
No, they've gone.
They've gone.
Many of them have gone.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they're up and moving, and then it's illogical. It's illogical stuff. I mean, locally here, the guy that stood up and said, "Let's give everybody R1 million." I'm like, come on, I understand everyone. We want to improve standard of living, improve life.
What is that going to do though,
But
baby?
no, but the reality is just go do the maths, man.
No, I'm saying, how's it going to? If okay, let me
Every year, everyone's going to get R1 million.
Okay, let me put it like this: if you gave me R1 million right now,
yeah,
I'm gonna freak out.
Well, you might freak out, or you'd go on a spending spree.
No, that's what I'm saying. I will freak out and I will do an illogical thing with that. You're not putting me in a better situation.
Well,
for me,
for now, you're going to think you're in a better situation.
Short-lived.
And then 6 months' time, when you have no money, you're going to be saying, but that's not enough.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Now I need 2 million.
Yeah, it's not fair. Why am I not getting more?
But it goes against the principles of life, Sule.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that for me is what I'm seeing in the world, is that so many times we're trying to defy principles.
Yeah.
The principle of exchange, the principle of duality. There's so many principles that drive life and drive business. The principle of exchange.
You give me product, I give you product.
Sow,
for example,
and reap.
Yes.
Sow, reap.
Old school.
The better you sow, the more you sow. Over time, the more you will reap. Over time. Not when I want it, not what I want, over time.
Yeah.
And we have to keep putting in. It doesn't say don't sow and just reap. It doesn't say rock up at the land and go, where my mealies? How do you mean where? How do you mean where the mealies?
You have to plant.
Well, did you plant? No.
I thought
you get it.
I thought somebody did it.
And I just think in this world, I'm watching when I am watching what's happened. We've lost logic. We've just lost the core principles. Do I feel for people that are struggling? Hell yes. But are we addressing those things in a long-term sustainable way, or are we trying to address them short-term? It's exactly that. Give me money and I'll be okay. No, you won't, because I'll give you money for the short term. You'll have stuff, but then you won't use it effectively, and then you'll be broke anyway. Now you'll be broke and you'll have a bigger house to pay for. Now you can't pay for the house. Then it just...
I feel like we're trying to put a Band-Aid on not even a bullet hole anymore.
Well, what I think for me, if you take it down to it, we've lost control of so many people in the world that are making promises that they can't fulfill in order to get in positions of authority and power and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
And sadly, when you go after people who don't have, you can sell them on stuff
easily, because you don't have it.
And that's all over the world.
Yeah.
Promise. I promise you, Sule, that if you go do this, I'm going to give you this. Really? Okay.
Let me go.
And when we step back, and I also think you know, that's a failing of our education system. And that's a
Starting point.
whole different, it's a failure of our education system. We're not educating people.
Nope.
We're not teaching them the core functionalities of life.
Nope.
We just, I mean, my key gripe about the school is, it's the only place in the world you get sent to learn how to make money from people who are largely broke.
Yep.
But,
It's the fact. We don't know any rich school teachers.
And now we send out people, say, go study hard so you can get a job, and there's less and less jobs in the world. Now we fuel unhappiness, and now you can't give me a job. Well, you promised me a job if I went to school. Now give me what a job should give me. And it's just, so we've got to be teaching people's fault. Got to be teaching people how to solve problems, how to create solutions, and how to be able to move from there. Because we know there's enough problems in the world that we can solve, but we're not teaching people how to do that. So, yeah.
No, I'd agree. Actually, I think, because I think even I heard that the plan is to increase the grant, the amount of the grant money thingy. So, and I think that doesn't
look, Sule, I think grants, and for me is there are people that are very desperate, that need help.
100%.
I get that.
I'm with that.
And I believe we should be helping those people.
For sure.
Okay. But I also believe is that we should also be creating environments where we can grow and create sustainability and all that. I mean, you look at America. America is meant to be, the modern empire of the world. And you listen to some people, and I mean, largely on the left, like, well, I mean, I was looking at an interview the other day, someone on the far left going, yeah, but we should all have a universal salary and shouldn't have to work. We got better things to do than work.
Like what?
And, well, I don't know, play games and sit at home and dye my hair, and I don't know what.
Farm.
But so now, but the logic is, where's that universal salary going to come from? Oh, no, it's going to come from it's going to come from the government. Where is that going to come from? It's going to come from tax. Who are you going to tax?
Yeah, because everybody's not working.
No, you're going to tax the billionaires. But who are the billionaires? The billionaires and the millionaires are creating business, but no one wants to work.
So where are we getting the money?
So how are we going to do that?
Yeah, no, that's a fair point.
But that's just, it goes back to stupidity. It's I'm going to justify. There's lots of justification in the world. I'm going to justify what I want, even if it's nonsensical. And I think that's, the world's becoming more and more, I don't know, my term, stupid.
Nonsensical.
It doesn't mean there's not. Do we have problems? We have huge problems.
Massive.
Should we be fixing those problems? Yes, but we should be fixing them in terms of creating businesses, building environments, and comes back to the same thing. Everything rises and falls in leadership. And I'll stop and finish there.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week on the Uncovering Greatness podcast. Bye-bye.